Well, we're here. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while because I haven't. We haven't recorded for 2 weeks.
That's right. We've
Which might
released
be
every week.
which might be our thing for a little while, just for scheduling reasons.
Yeah.
But I actually found out huge podcast in the UK. I guess it's international. It's a big soccer podcast. I watch quite often. Found out they do this. They record once every 2 weeks and just stack their episodes. Nothing wrong with that.
I love it. I think I like this, that the episodes are a little bit shorter and a little more digestible to listen to the full episode.
Yeah.
And it's just a testament. It's a testament to, I'm going to dive in. It took me 2 hours to get home tonight. I'm commuting now. It was a horrible rain here in New Jersey. And whole debacle with charging my car, and I learned some lessons.
I was wondering how that was going to...
Had a guy try to sell me a Nissan Armada because the only charger I could find was at the Nissan dealership. He was super cool and was letting me be, but I went in to use the ladies' room. He's like, now you're in my domain, and chased me down. And
In the ladies' room?
Well, not in the ladies' room, coming out. And I just, being in sales, I really appreciate good salespeople. Like, to some people, being called a salesperson is like a dirty word. I love it. And really good salespeople, like, I will just give them the time of day, even if I don't have the time of day, because I'm like, I want to hear what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So finally made it home, and I had a headache and a whole bunch of other things going on. And I knew we had the podcast, and I'm thinking, this is why I know that doing this podcast is not negotiable for me or for you, because I don't even care that I feel crappy right now. And actually I feel really good now. It is not work. I didn't want to let you down. I don't want to let me down. I don't want to let this awesome momentum down that we have going on. And it's cool to have those litmus tests of like, how committed really are you? And I threw a hat on because I was a drowned rat trying to get my car charged in the Nissan parking lot. I figured it out. And it's a good announcement.
Yeah, well, let's get to that in a second. But to that point, I'm hiding in the kids' room right now because we're recording this right before they would go to bed. Amy's got her back to school night, so I couldn't really go to my office to record this. So I'm hiding in their room because they take over the house. It's like the only room they don't go in is their own. So I'm sat here, and so I apologize to anybody watching on some video how ridiculous the split screen looks, because I'm all the way up here and Tara's all the way down there. But hopefully we'll the AI layout will have a single screen for most of it. But
nobody
but
cares.
yeah, to your point, it's I kind of said that to you earlier when we were confirming the time. I think it's important for our audience to be let in on this, that you can find time, you can do things that are important to you, and maybe you've got to be flexible and do 2 episodes at once. Maybe you've got to do 2 things at once. Whatever your goals are. And I like the fact that we're modeling that.
Yeah. Maybe you have to say no to something else. There's always a way, and just life is always weaving in and out of itself, if that makes sense. Like tomorrow I'm presenting virtually to a team leader in Kentucky who does AHA sessions and invites agents from all different brokerages to come to these sessions. And so I'm kind of like the guest coach that's coming in. And we're talking about the myth of work-life balance, right? We talk a lot about counterbalance, but even deeper than that, it's like this work-life harmony. So it all applies, and we're going to talk about that a little bit on this episode and the next episode. But we're doing a catch-up right now, and some announcements of things that we've been holding. Well, I'm doing some. You're still holding some things a little close. Until you're
but there is one. It's not an announcement, but it's something I wanted to share.
Yeah.
But it's not as big as your news, so let's jump into that. Obviously, you got the hat on with the logo. Many people won't know what this is.
Yep.
And it's funny how life comes at you, because I'm not going to say where you are now. I'm going to let you do that. But as you know, when you told me about this opportunity, when I was at Inman 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I saw this person on stage, and I was remember being very, very impressed by them,
Yes.
and not didn't think anything of it, but just that it really stood out in my mind and stuck with me. And here we are, 2.5 years later, and
Yeah.
my buddies walked into their building, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, I'll give a little tiny bit of background. Spent the last year traveling all over the country, working with, internationally recognized speaker, doing development, core values with bigger corporations. Really stepped outside the real estate industry and learned a massive amount. How to really, I'm very grateful for the experience. Um, had something happen that was not in alignment with my core values, and 20-year-old me may have still stayed, but 48-year-old me that knows how much I value my own core values, and I just refuse to make the choice to stay in any situation or environment where my core values are being negotiated or I'm trying to convince myself.
And this is the second time, by the way, within a 12, 13 month period,
Yes, I could. Yeah. Gosh.
right? But
Hmm.
I think that's a testament to you actually walking what you talk.
Yeah. Definitely. And it doesn't mean that it's not scary, but there's just no amount of money. There's just no amount of money that
Yeah.
can make you feel good about going against your core values. It's not sustainable and a million other things. Another episode on its own. Um, but I needed my people around me too, because I was like kind of questioning myself. And I'm like, I've got bills to pay, I've got responsibilities. I just can't up and walk away from this. And I'm just, again, value so much everyone that I have around me because, Ben's very, be very strategic and slow down and, think about all of the things. And I'm like, I've already thought about all the things. Like, I don't need to slow down. Like, I've made a decision. I'm acting. But that slows me, that did slow me down a little bit and made sure I wasn't reactive. I spoke with you. You're a little more middle ground on things. I spoke with Fred. Fred's like, fuck that guy. I want to go kick his ass. Um so ultimately I took action on what my own decision was, but I did take counsel from the people that I respect and I did think about things a little bit differently. And as I'm out there exploring, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back into transactional real estate again? Like that's the easy fix for me. It's easy only in the fact that I know how to do it. I've been very successful in doing transactional real estate for many, many years. I've worked in a million different markets. Like there's nothing that can stop me having success with selling real estate. But there's that fire and that inner in me knowing that there's something more than that. And while I love helping people, you know, sell their homes and getting them great prices and find their dream home or their dream farm or whatever it might be, nothing fills and fuels me like coaching people and really seeing people have ahas and brain explosions and true success in a holistic way that coaching does. So I'm out there looking, I'm throwing resumes everywhere. There's so much scam crap, especially in the coaching world, where they just kind of want you to get your information so they can sell you their coaching system. And then,
Yeah.
I saw this ad and I was like, oh my God, it's agent development, it's director of sales. And I'm like, literally everything I've been doing fits in this role. Like this, like I'm made for this role.
Yeah.
And the comp that was put online was like, these people value what this role brings. And to give you a perspective, there was a very large, known, I sounded like a Scottish person for a second, um, really well known real estate brokerage that was hiring for kind of a similar role. And I will tell you, the role that I took was double the base pay.
I was gonna say I remember the other one being about half. Yeah.
Yes. And It's kind of the antithesis of what I believe is good for agents. So it would have been, again, sacrificing on my core
Yeah, that
values.
that would not have been a good fit.
But I'm putting my resume, I'm not even getting responses.
Yeah.
I'm not getting responses, or I did get some responses like not the right fit. Well, because I don't want to join your coaching program. So you and I talked. I hadn't heard anything back. He's like, call him, email him, LinkedIn him. And I was like, yeah, what am I waiting for? So I did that, got a response. We have our recruiting team. I'll look to hear from them. Didn't hear anything. I applied again. I went and saw like a different ad they had out, applied again, and then they finally connected. So long story longer, super excited to announce that I took the director of sales and agent development. It's really just the director of sales, but it is agent development with a team, top 1% in the nation, the 10 Hove Advisory. And they were coming from KW. They said, we have something we want to discuss with you before you make any decisions. And I'm like, they're definitely changing brokerages, or maybe they're opening their own thing. And lo and behold, they were launching Privé House, which in this day and age, I'm like, no agent should be starting their own brokerage unless you're doing something like what they're doing. And so it's really special. It's invitation only. You have to be in production of 10 million or more to even have a conversation about coming over to the brokerage. And then they have a team structure where you can be doing under that and come in and learn the systems and
Yeah.
learn, how they get the ultra luxury listings and all of the other listings. No expireds. The team's never had a listing expired. They've withdrawn from the market. But there's some really cool accolades. I did not want to be in a role where I was teaching a bunch of brand new agents how to write contracts. That is not my wheelhouse. I scare the hell out of new agents typically, unless they're really ready to treat it like a business.
Hmm.
I mean, you've experienced a little bit of my coaching with that. Like, you've got to be all in.
Oh yeah.
And one of my deciding factors in the beginning where I knew this was going to be a good fit was I was watching. So it's DJ and Nikki Tenhoff, their husband and wife team, polar opposites in some way, but an amazing team together. I really loved that they worked together. That was important to me to hear how he spoke about her and how she spoke about him. Really important to me.
Hmm.
Um, Watching some of DJ's interviews and podcasts, within a minute or two, he swore in something. And I was like, oh, I like this guy. Like, he was authentic, he was real. And I was coming from a place where if I said even a kind of off color word on stage, my partner was not real thrilled about it.
Right.
So um I just love being one of the superpowers in the group and not the superpower in the group, which we can find ourselves in.
Oh yeah. That's not a good place to be.
Yeah. So I get to turn back to the real estate industry, which has, really served me so well over 2 decades, 26 years licensed, and do what I love to do most, which is help people. And the other kicker was their relationships with the like supercar industry and, awesome open houses with the Ferraris and Lambos and everything else rolling up. Like, that's my jam. So
Mhm.
super excited to be on board with them. And as with anything, it's like drinking through a fire hose. I'm just developing relationships, and we're launching, Privé House, which is, people are like, what is it? So it's kind of cool. And I'm in a market where no one knows me. I'm down in Red Bank. Um, so
Yeah. It's
it's
nice too.
yeah. And I have a great base to live off of with basically uncapped potential, which works really well for the
Yeah.
type of person that I am.
Yeah. I mean, I said it when they called for the reference that, the minute you showed me the job description, it basically might have just said, do you know who Tara Stone
Yeah.
is? You know what I mean? Like, we're looking for Tara, because it was just you to a
Yeah.
T. And it was, I think what's really nice is, I've seen you go through a few different transitions now career wise, and it's always cool to see like where the steps you took before led you to where you are.
Yeah.
And this really has come full circle. And I don't think if you had gone for this role when I first met you, even though it was what you were doing for
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be as powerful doing it as you are now
100%
because of the
agree.
things you've gone through. Yeah.
Yeah. And every little hiccup or even everything happening the way it did and how it did and when it did, the fact that I
Yeah.
started looking on Indeed and Glassdoor and all that, I've never looked on those sites. So it just everything for a reason. Taking as much gratitude from every single experience and talk about like I don't have imposter syndrome anymore. Sure, it creeps up a little once in a while, and then I remember who the fuck I am. Excuse my language, but don't excuse my language. Like I have worked my ass off. I have failed forward. I have put myself in scary freaking situations over and over and over again, and stepped up and not cared about how I looked or wasn't about me. Like how am I going to bring value to the people in front of me? And that has positioned me to do what I'm doing right now and have the confidence to go like there is no one better for you than me.
Right.
And then looking at them like the way they work, the way things are, it's so important that we're surrounded by people that energize us, that we can help, that value us, that we value them. We just put ourselves in too many rooms where we're not valued, we're not appreciated, and we're just not in alignment with the people. That's exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think too, and it's kind of going to, jump leapfrog in to the second part of this where we're going to kind of go into this a bit deeper. It doesn't have to be the final chapter, right? Like
Right.
this might be what sets you up 5, 10 years, and then you do the thing you were really meant. Like I think we put so much pressure on ourselves. Like, no, this is the moment. This is the thing I'm going to be doing. And in reality, it's like God's just laughing at you, saying, "No, like this, you've got some lessons to learn here, and this is how you're going to grow from here." So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm super stoked for you. It's, obviously, I've known about this for a while, so uh, as much as I'm happy for you, I'm not, it's not a surprise to me right now. So I'm not
Surprise.
jumping up and down on this really uncomfortable bed that I'm sat on.
Oh my god! And I love that you're in your son's room, and that you said they're not even in there
No,
until you have to force them to go to bed.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I'm listening to a ton of Audible right now, so because I've got all this hours in the car, and I'm prioritizing how I use that time. And I read Never Split the Difference a long time ago. It keeps coming back up in team conversation, so I actually downloaded it real quick on
I have a
Audible.
better one for you.
Yeah.
He did a specific real estate one that's really, really good.
Yes.
Um, he did it with, I'll say it's Chris Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, check that out.
I'll
Really,
check it
really,
out.
really good.
I'll
Yeah.
check it out. One of the things he was saying, every life is negotiation, whether
Yeah.
you're negotiating a hostage situation or your salary or something that you want, right? And he's like, I want you to go to bed at 9 p.m., right? Everything in life is a negotiation.
Yeah.
So I love that you're in the bedroom where you will be probably negotiating your boys to go to sleep in very soon.
Well, let's be real. There's no negotiation. I don't negotiate with terrorists.
Even little ones.
Yeah. We're talking about the boys, and before we jump into the work life stuff, so 2 episodes now or 3 episodes, we were talking about modeling.
Yes.
And another great example, I was so proud.
Mhm.
Um, after Mason's soccer game Saturday morning, it was a 9 o'clock kickoff, so it was fairly early. One of the parents brought a big box of Dunkin' Donuts for everybody.
Yeah.
I was actually in the parking lot with Amy. We were switching Braden over. Looking from a distance, I see Mason kind of go and take a look. Everybody's going in. He just kind of walks off.
Yeah.
No interest in getting it. And I wasn't gonna like tell him off if he got it or anything
Yeah.
because he just played a game and rarely has that kind of stuff. But I was just like, wow, it really the impression you
Love it.
make on your kids is no threats. I was not around, so you didn't have to worry about me looking at him or anything.
No
Um,
consequences.
yeah, so it really is a team effort, guys. If you want your kids to be better, we've got to model it for them and lead by example.
I'm so glad you said that because it's a story I wanted to tell you. And even Ben said to me this morning, like, "Oh, you're doing the podcast tonight? Like, what's your master plan with that?" I'm like, "We don't have a master plan." He's like, "Is it to monetize it?" I said, "I don't know. If we can monetize it down the road, great. But what we do know is that we had to be consistent, and the successful
Yeah.
podcasts that are out there, they shoot 500 episodes before they
Yeah,
start to
my
lose
my
track.
thing is I'm not even thinking about this being a commercial venture until we've got 500 episodes.
Yes. And but even thinking about that, like we never came at this with wanting to necessarily make money from it. Now, full transparency, it's absolutely a platform for whatever we have going on in our lives, whatever we're creating that we believe is good for people out there, for our listeners. Yeah, we're going to talk about those things. We're going to say where there's opportunities. But I said to Ben, I said, listen, as long as our listenership is growing and people are watching, that's all we need, right? Because we have fun doing this. I think it's a weird form of therapy, maybe for you and I. But it's never been about monetizing it. It's just been about let's bring this to the world. Let's see who it resonates with. And I hadn't like this is the third or fourth time this has happened to me. I walked into an agent mastermind down in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. I am meeting people for the first time. This woman walks up to me. She said, I'm waiting for the second episode of the kid conversation, the coaching and modeling to come out. Is it coming out this week? And I was like, yeah, it is actually. Just, it'll be out Friday." And she's like, "I listened to the first half. It really helped me." She's a Division 1 athlete, coaches boys lacrosse. Um Never met her before, walks up and's like, "I've been listening to you guys and it was so helpful for me." And like,
I love
"When is
that.
the second part coming out?" And then that's all I need, right? And that's all you need. That you never know who you're reaching. And now if I had not been in front of her, we wouldn't have known it necessarily, but we've always been, if we're impacting one person in a positive way, one person a week.
Yeah, and the percentage of people that actually sit and listen to the whole thing is very, very small, and
Mhm,
that goes from Joe Rogan, number one,
mhm,
to all the way down to everybody else. People just don't have time, even if they have good intentions. So,
yeah,
but it's the little clips. I've had so many people I haven't spoken to in years
yeah,
say like something that they saw of us helped them with a situation or
yeah.
it impacted them, and they love it. Um, yeah, so to your point, it's just about being consistent, and you never know who's watching
Nope.
or listening.
I know for us, and we both, want to get some more guests on in the next 12 months. We've got some great people that have already said yes. And
Well, even beyond that, we've got this huge plan. That's on the back burner right now, just
yes,
because of logistics and everything. But
yeah,
it all plays a part of it.
it does. So thank you, buddy. Thank you for
Yeah, thank
being the
you.
partner that, we want to keep showing up. I want to keep showing up for you and for us and for
Yeah,
our
likewise.
people. And the fact that this is still fun, even though we're both probably exhausted and we're making weird stuff.
Yeah, this isn't my best time.
Right. Fun, fun, fun. Well, when you said 7 p.m., and I was like, wait, hold on, was that a question or a statement? Um, so we're making it happen. We've talked way too long. We've lost everybody. No one's even listening right now, but we are going to have some awesome clips from this as well.
I
So
was gonna say, do it for the clips.
we're doing it for the clips. Let's roll into what we're going to be talking about for the rest of today and on the next episode. And that's the work life balance myth and the doing what people told you you should do.
Yeah. Well, that's the second part, the should part. But
Yeah.
yes, kind of. I guess it's all the same thing.
It's all this. It's well, we fall into that because of what we think we are supposed to do, right? Right. The beliefs that people handed to us. We see it in the sales world. This is what you should do. You should prospect 5 days a week. You should do this. You should do this. You should do
Hmm.
this. It was never really something that was you committed to. You're just like, okay, this is what I should do. There's nothing behind it. So we are talking about the work life counterbalance, not the work life balance. There just isn't a balance, but we're already setting it up in like the wrong way to view it. Because if you think of balance or even the counterbalance, pretty instantly, I don't know, my brain thinks of like a teeter totter. right?
Yeah.
You've and you got weight on one side and you've got weight on the other, and there's never that perfect where it's just like that. But who the heck wants their legs dangling off the ground, all of the time? But it's like if one is good and one is bad, one's getting attention, one's getting neglected. It's like this natural human instinct to make a positive and a negative. But if we can kind of erase that whole balance thing and look at it more like circles, the work circle, the work and career, and then the life, work and career circle, and then where those cross over, that's you've got all work and you've got all personal, family, everything else. And then you have that intersection. So I am really starting to think about how do we have this work life harmony where it ebbs and flows in and out of each other. And yes, there are times when you're going to be heavy in the left hand side of one circle and heavy in the right hand side of another circle,
Yeah.
but they're all interconnected. So that's really what I'm starting to look at now. And it involves knowing what your priorities are. It involves
Yeah.
knowing what your core values are, because that is your filter. And then it involves protecting those priorities and taking action on them and kind of silencing the noise of what you should be doing, or what you need to say no to.
Yeah.
Um, but if you don't know what your core values are and you don't know what your priorities are, you're saying yes to everything. There's noise all around. You're exhausted. You're busy but broke. Nobody's happy. You're not happy with how you are physically and mentally. Your spouse probably isn't. Your significant other probably isn't. Your kids probably aren't. Your friends are like, we never see him anymore, or
Mhm.
all of the other things. So, is there anything particular you want to talk about or add or kind of frame that concept with?
Yeah, I've never really liked the idea of work-life balance because I think what it does is create this perception that things have to be equal.
Mm,
Um, and I always kind of think of it as two plants sat side by side. Sometimes one's going to get more sun, and you're going to have to give one more water at certain times. And it's just about knowing when to show up for what at what time.
yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it a lot. How he references his relationship with his father, how he barely saw his dad growing up, but his dad's his hero. He's super close with him now, but at that time in their lives, his dad had to work 20-hour days
Hmm.
and build a legacy for the family, and he then took over and 100x'd it. So I think people get really caught up in that, and they end up. The problem becomes you start judging yourself and start focusing so much energy on feeling bad.
Yes. Feeling guilty, feeling bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think your example of listening to audiobooks in the car, that's a great example of finding that balance. You're doing something for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Braden.
Yay.
Um, yeah, he's gone away now. But you're doing something for yourself, and you're finding some time to carve out for you. And
Yes.
to your point, this you just started this, so it's going to be 100 days of baptism by fire, right?
Yep.
And then things will start realigning a bit more. And yeah, so my biggest thing with work life balance is just not to judge yourself so much.
Yes.
I work a lot and I enjoy working. Like it's not when everybody's at home is watching TV or on the iPads or whatever. I'm doing work. I enjoy it.
Yep.
It fulfills me, especially that my health practitioner and stuff. It really fulfills me.
Yeah.
It's not hard work for me.
Yep. One of the things you're talking about too is having the awareness of when, like, what you're doing, right? Being like, well,
Yeah,
I like doing this. It fulfills me. I'll have awareness even with the Audible, where I'm driving and then I start realizing like I'm actually not really listening anymore. But I'm like, oh, I want to listen because I want to get through the book, right? And this is my time. And I'm like, no, I actually really just want to listen to music right now.
yeah,
So I have to catch myself and be like, okay, I got a good 10 minutes and I'm not even really paying attention to it. Is way better that I just turn it off and put the music on.
yeah.
Right.
And by
So
the way, I really, really believe that meditating first thing in the morning can just recalibrate you to a point where you stop focusing on that balance so much.
yes.
Just giving yourself that 10 minutes of stillness in the morning and more if you can afford that time.
Hmm.
That really will set you up, and you can always revisit that feeling during the day.
Yeah.
I think that's a really powerful Powerful thing.
It always amazes me how much people fight this notion of setting your intention for the day,
Yeah.
or even setting it the night before. It's like it takes a few minutes, and until you've done it, you don't know the power of it. But it's really a lot of people really resist adopting or even trying it.
Yeah.
And what do you mean setting my attention? Like, of course I want to have a good day. Well, when you wake up and you're not being thoughtful and you're just launching into reactivity, especially if there's kids and a million other things around, you're setting that intention for the day. You set an intention for the day, whether you knowingly do it or not. This is about setting the intention that you want to have for the day, not that's just defaulting on you, right? And that's life by design, not life by default.
Yeah. One of my favorite things I heard online was, and I've adopted this for years now. I can't have a bad day.
Mm,
I cannot have a bad day. The minute you speak it into existence,
yes.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You might have a shitty part of the day, but guess what? Like, my day could have been crap right up until this podcast, but you know what? I'm going to finish the day on a high.
Yeah.
The kids might drive me crazy, to your point earlier when I try and put them to bed. I'm going to make the rest of the day even better.
Yeah.
It's all perspective, and that really ties into the work-life balance, to our earlier points of it's whatever you create in your mind is how it's going to be. If you think you should be spending 8 hours a day with your kids and it's not possible because of work commitments or whatever,
Mhm.
you're going to suffer for that.
Yep.
But that's you doing that. That's you putting that expectation on. Sometimes 30 minutes is all you need to brighten your kids' day up. Like 30 minutes of well-intentioned
Focused. Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yes.
Way more powerful than just being there.
Absolutely. Totally different. And kids spell love Time. And they're
Yeah.
amazing. Is one of my favorite videos. It's your life in jelly beans. And I think there's probably some adjustments they need to make in the
Yeah.
ratios.
Let's hope so.
But it's powerful. And so your life in jelly beans, if you haven't seen it, finish listening to us and then go watch it on YouTube. Um, the people that love us, they just want time with us. And it's not just about being around, right? We all have stories of we were there, but we weren't present. So there's an adage of where whatever you are, be a good one, right? And like wherever you're at, be there.
Yeah.
And
Well,